Bitter criticism. Reading something on this Thursday. Tomorrow, tomorrow I will read something in Spanish, but this time I have to read something on. I don't remember. We're here with Negro. His name is Negro. He's a mixed dog, but looks like a Belgian Shepherd, isn't it? Negro, are you a Belgian Shepherd? Such a nice dog. The Belgian Shepherds. I guess he is. I guess he is like a Belgian Shepherd. I'm only going to read one news or two. That's it. Just going to read some news from Al Jazeera. Yeah, I didn't did the genocide dossier on Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera, beautiful logo. Such a beautiful logo. So here we are. Top stories, live updates, Al Jazeera. I'm going to read this one. Look who is here. Negro wants to take my camera off there. And that says live updates. There's a video here. Ali Hashem talks about the commitment Israel may need to make to secure the release of more than 30 captives being held in Gaza. There's a video, yeah. Live updates. Trump threatens hell for Gaza as Israeli strikes kills 4 children. U.S. President-elect again demands release of Israeli captives as Israel hits tent camp in Khan Yunis, killing children. This summary of the first news is by Niels Adler, Alex Kozul Wright. This is January 7. Updated 20 hours ago. But we have the summary with topics. So the first topic is US President-elect says, quote, all hell will break out, end quote, if Israeli captives aren't returned by his inauguration on January 20, as his Middle East envoy is set to return to Doha for Gaza ceasefire and prisoner swamp talks. Yeah, who knows? It's such a dire matter, isn't it? Dire matter of abuse and genocide and ancestral genocide. This being like 70 years of genocide. Israeli. Oh, we have a new live updated available. Maybe, but I didn't read the summary yet. Israeli strikes have killed at least 49 people since the early hours of this morning. Medical sources tell Al Jazeera. And the second topic, Tom Fletcher, the UN's relief chief, says efforts to save the lives of survivors in Gaza is, quote, a breaking point because of continued Israeli attacks on aid workers, including an assault on a World Food Program convoy and the collapse of law and order in the war-torn enclave. And the third topic, Israel's military has launched a manhunt in the occupied West Bank after gunmen killed 3 Israelis near an illegal settlement in the Qalqilia governorate. So a lot of violence, but violence is much greater from Israel against Palestinians. And the fourth topic, and the question about all this Israeli subject is that they started with the genocide. They started the massacre against Palestinian people, and that was for free against Palestinians, you know. It was for free, like it was Palestinians were doing nothing, you know. That's it, and they got massacred. So, and the fourth topic, Israel's genocide in Gaza has killed at least 45,885 Palestinians and wounded 109,196 since October 7, 2023. At least 1,139 people were killed in Israel during the Hamas-led attacks that day, and more than 200 taken captive. And 1 minute ago, Tuesday, January 7, today's toll from Israeli attacks on Gaza rises. Medical sources have told Al Jazeera that at least 49 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli attacks since the early hours of this morning. 49 Palestinians. So still 2025 year is being deadly, is being bloody, a bloody year so far. This includes 4 children who were killed when Israel struck a tent camp in Al-Masawi, near the southern city of Khan Yunis. Tuesday, January 7, 16 minutes ago. Watch. All hell will break out in the Middle East if captives are not released, says Trump. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff had a news conference in Florida where they addressed some questions about the Gaza ceasefire talks. Trump said if the captives are not back by the time he gets into office, quote, all hell will break out in the Middle East and it will not be good for Hamas and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone, end quote. Watch below to hear their full comments. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump demanded Hamas release Israeli captives held in Gaza by the time he takes office. 31 minutes ago, Tuesday, January 7. If you are just joining us, here are some of the main developments over the past day. First, the Palestinian news agency Wafa was reported that an Israeli military aircraft has bombed a house on the old Gaza Strip in Jabalia al-Balad in the north of the Gaza Strip, killing at least 8 people. Our colleagues at Al Jazeera Arabic are reporting that 4 children have been killed in an Israeli bombardment of a tent camp in the so-called safe zone of Al-Mawasi in the south of the Gaza Strip. Third, President-elect Donald Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff has said there has been, quote, a lot of progress when speaking about the Gaza ceasefire deal at a news conference held by Trump in Palm Beach, Florida, in the U.S. And fourth, at the same conference, Trump said if the captives are not back by the time he gets into office, quote, all hell will break out in the Middle East, end quote. And 1 hour ago, there's a news agency, I don't remember, but I will not, it's Wafa, but this Wafa I did read once. But there's another I never read. I forgot. And now I don't remember. I don't remember now. It's like quad something. No, it's not quad. Anyway, 1 hour ago, the last thing we want to see in a Palestinian killing the last thing we want to see is a Palestinian killing a Palestinian. Barghouti. Mustafa Barghouti, the Secretary General of the Palestinian National Initiative, spoke to Al Jazeera about the Palestinian Authorities' operations in the Jenin refugee camp in the occupied West Bank. Quote, "There is no justification for this escalation, and I think the last thing that Palestinians need is now a violent confrontation between Palestinians and Palestinians," he said. Quote, "We have a big number of political parties, civil society structures, human rights organizations that have interfered and is trying to mediate to end this situation," he said. Quote, "All of those who are harmed are our sons, our people, whether they are on the authority side or they are on the resistance side," end quote. This quote again, "This is happening while Israel is conducting hundreds of attacks on us, attacks by Israeli army and attacks by settlers." Quote, "If it continues, it will only serve the interest of the Israeli occupation," he said. And there's a photograph. Palestinian Authority security forces used tear gas to disperse a protest against their security operations in Jenin on December 16th. It's just a photograph. And I'm going to read the last one from 1 hour ago. Tuesday, January 7th, 1 hour ago. Al Jazeera genocide dossier. What further hell could Trump bring to the Gaza Strip? Pretty ironic, isn't it? But it's true. Omar Rahman, a fellow at the Middle East Council on Global Affairs, spoke to Al Jazeera about Trump's comment that, quote, "All hell will break out in the Middle East if the captives are not released by the time he gets into office." Quote, "What further hell could you bring on the Gaza Strip than is already being imposed on it?" Rahman said. "Yeah, you need to tackle structural issues. That doesn't mean the US as a superpower will, with all the economic and military power it has, can take further actions." Look who came here. There you go. Our dog correspondent, dog journalist. That doesn't mean the US as a superpower will, with all the economic and military power it has, can take further actions to step up the pressure on all the parties, he said. He said, it is hard to know exactly what Trump entails by this threat, but he suggests that it could mean he might be willing to use military force against Iran or, quote, "green light further ethnic cleansing in the Gaza Strip," end quote. Rahman added that Trump might also be, quote, "be just leaning into the role of the kind of unpredictable, the unwily leader, the bully, and hoping that people fear that and kind of just bend the knee." And there's a photograph. A man mourns over the bodies of two members of the Abbad family who were killed in the Israeli bombardment in the central Gaza Strip at Al-Aqsa Hospital in Deir el-Balad, Tuesday, January. Yeah, I'm going to check it out. Wafa News Agency, a pretty good newspaper. Wafa News Agency. Just one news, because old woman is coming here with a boy. I'm going to take this dog like this. Oh, this dog has a, I guess it has a tick. Yeah, it has a tick. Look. No, it's not a tick. Anyway, latest news: Israeli forces shoot and injure Palestinians. January 7. Israeli forces shoot and injure Palestinians near Hebron. Hebron, January 5th, January 5, 2025, Wafa. Oh, 2 days ago. 4 citizens were injured by Israeli occupation bullets on Tuesday evening during clashes that erupted in Al-Fawar camp, south of Hebron. Red Crescent sources said that its crews dealt with 4 injuries, three of which were in the foot and one in the back, and were described as stable. Local sources indicated that the occupation forces stormed the center of the camp, which led to the outbreak of clashes between the occupation forces and citizens, during which live bullets, toxic gas, bombs, and sound bombs were fired. And that's it.